Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Winner's Circle. I'm Derrick.
And I'm Cody.
And we are here for Survivor, episode number 9. Crazy episode tonight. Before we get into it, let's hear from this week's sponsor.
All right, so we know you are all busy people. So we're going to help you guys here and have you stop thinking about what you need to wear or what you need to buy your significant other for this upcoming holiday season. Your search ends here with Mack Weldon. I am a huge fan of Mack Weldon. When this ad came across our table, I couldn't have been more excited. I've been wearing Mack Weldon's underwear. I've been wearing Mack Weldon sweats for a very long time. The company is great. Their products are great, and they have, a daily wear system. The daily wear system is a selection of the clothes rooted in smart design made with performance fabrics and built to work together. From breathable t-shirts and polos to stylish button-ups and shorts, underwear and beyond, Mack Weldon makes it easy for you to dress for work, leisure, and play, or wherever your day may take you. As I just said before, I love Mack Weldon. I'm in their sweats right now. I'm in their underwear right now. These are the only underwear.
Oh, hey now.
Little inside information. I won't tell you the color though, but I love Mack Weldon's underwear. I have each of the different types of underwear. I love them. They're great. They're comfortable. And the thing that drives me nuts about most underwear is that they like kind of ride up on you when you put your pants on. Mack Weldon doesn't do that. Because they have some of the shorter briefs that I like to wear. These products are amazing. They speak for themselves. And so I am really excited to bring this to our viewers. And Derrick, let them know how they can get a special discount for being a Winner's Circle listener.
Yeah, there's a couple things to keep in mind too. These clothes are made to work together. I have the Ace sweatpants on right now for an ultimate lazy Sunday. They're the Ace sweat shorts. They have the modern tailing and pair perfectly with the ultra soft, ultra high grade Pima tees. I got to get myself some tees. I was looking at them online. I definitely want to get those. And for weekend travels, both near and far, there's the silver knit polo and radius shorts, which are perfect and have this high-tech, highly packable combo. So they're really efficient. The ones I'm wearing right now, they kind of have like that moisture wicking material on the inside. And most of my sweatpants don't have that, so I'm really liking it. Thank you for turning me on to it, Cody. Listen, guys, buy some time this holidays by using the Mack Weldon Daily Wear System. For 20% off your first order, visit mackweldon.com/winnercircle and enter promo code WinnerCircle. That's mackweldon.com/winnercircle, promo code WinnerCircle for 20% off. Mack Weldon, radically efficient. All right, so as I said before, we just took that quick break. Another great episode. Cody, we were talking about it a little bit beforehand. We were texting during the episode. Yeah. I got to tell you what, this show has not lacked entertainment.
No.
I don't know how everyone out there is feeling about the season so far. I can tell you we are thoroughly enjoying it. We said it before, not the best gameplay, but it doesn't leave you bored, that's for sure.
Well, I do want to say this, is that we said that last week, is maybe not the greatest gameplay, but there are some really good players there. So yeah, I don't want anybody, if you're a Survivor person and you're watching this right now, I don't know if anybody really, quite frankly, cares, but it's no knock on some of the individual players. I think that there are some really good players. I think that the gameplay overall, though, of the season is chaotic, erratic, and just causing drama every week. But as a viewer, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, that's what's making it good.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it's like watching a chicken run around with its head cut off. Not that that's fun or funny, but it is like, it's chaos. It's chaos. And no, I don't condone animal cruelty. Let's just put that out there right now. Okay.
Good save.
Speaking
and also
of people,
have never seen that happen ever. I know
never seen that happen. No. But speaking of chickens running around with their head cut off, let's talk about the aftermath after Tribal, because Tribal last week was great.
Yeah.
We saw Tiffany go home. There was drama. There was a whole bunch of stuff, whispering going on. Heather trying to get Nasir out. Sean trying to run the show. Her and Deshaun fighting. So really quick recap. As they always do, there's this aftermath where Heather's trying to talk to Deshaun. He doesn't want to hear it. There's a quick conversation between Deshaun and Sean. They kind of go their separate ways into trying to tell their side of the story to each group. But nothing crazy, right? Am I missing anything? There was nothing.
The only good thing
was like super.
It was Heather and Nasir. They were like Heather, because Heather voted Nasir or said his name or whatever. And so Nasir was kind of calling her out and was like, what's the deal with that? You wrote my name down. The plan was, I thought you knew the plan. And then Heather got caught. And then Nasir turns to Evie and asks, what did Heather say to you? She said to vote you out. And he goes, see, I'm done. And so
Yeah,
Heather
that was
kinda
back
got
at
caught.
camp the next day, right? That was the morning session. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we were looking at that, Heather did try to get Nasir
Yeah.
out, but apparently from what Xander was saying, I was the one who voted against
Yeah.
Nasir. I'm not going to tell him that,
Yeah.
but I love the fact, and he said it, the bigger alliance, this unofficial group, if you ever want to get from the bottom to the top, you need fracturing. So why would you go in there and resolve that issue for them? Let them hate each other.
Correct.
Because so far they've been voting together. So Xander, great move by him not saying anything. And Nasir had definitely had enough of Heather. And she put her foot in her mouth. She thought Evie, by the way, guys, if you ever play the game, unless you've kind of pre-set up something with someone to be like, hey, Cody, what did I tell you? And you already know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Don't bring someone else into the conversation to back you up when you don't know what they're going to say or they haven't been filled in on it, because Evie just threw her right under the bus. She's like, no, you told me
that actually happened on the All-Star season of Big Brother.
Did it? I don't remember that.
It happened with Bailey, Danny, and Enzo. I wasn't there to see it. I didn't hear about it, but I only heard the funny aspect from Enzo's side. And it was like Danny and Bailey were in the back talking, and then Enzo came in and Bailey turned to Enzo and was like, didn't you hear that Danny was mentioning my name? And Enzo was like, I mean, I heard whispers, and walked out of the room and then sat in the bathroom for 45 minutes, on the toilet. Because he's like, I don't want to.
Because he didn't want to be involved.
So
Yikes.
To your point, what you just said is yeah, please don't do that to somebody. It's horrible. It's mortifying.
Or do it as long as we're not on the show with you, so we can laugh.
Because honestly, if I'm there and somebody did that to me, I'd be like this. I don't want to get involved. I'm out.
Even Nasir, when he was like, go ahead, ask her. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. And then he asked her, and he's like, he started laughing. He's like, well, that's what I told you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it was a good segment. And the reason we're talking about it is because there is some fracturing in that bigger group, which is going to make for great TV. The only thing that really went down that I think is worth mentioning and talking about is that before the immunity challenge is a clear moment where you have Xander, my Rhode Island accent came out there.
Xander.
You have Xander and Erica sitting on the beach. Right. And about, I'd say 5 feet away from them, you have, and stop me if I'm wrong here, you have Deshaun, you have Danny, you have Sean, and I don't know if by editing, you and I were talking about this. I don't know if it was Ricard and Lyanna, or was it just Lyanna and then Ricard came in after?
So it was just Danny, Deshaun, Lyanna, and Shan. And
okay,
that's what it looked like. And then they cut to later on, which is where a little bit of the confusion comes, and Ricard is sitting right there. But this is what you and I were talking about is, did they add ADR? Did they add this in where it was very clear for us as viewers to hear Shan say, the 4 needs to talk. Let's go talk. Right in front of Erica and Xander, and they both looked at each other like, do they not realize we're sitting right here? And so that's what makes me think it was only the 4 of them. But the only thing that I'm a little skeptical about is they made it sound clear as day, like Shan said it right in their direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that
I don't know if they heard.
Yeah.
But they definitely saw, because Erica pointed it out and says, I guess there's really no hiding it anymore, right?
Yeah.
The 4 of them just got up and walked far enough away so that we wouldn't be able to hear their conversation. And during that conversation between those 4 and maybe 5, because it looks like Ricard became part of it, Shan starts saying, I want Erica gone.
Right.
That's who I want gone this week. That's my target. I want her out of here. And going into the immunity challenge, that's kind of what Shan's plan is, right? If Erica doesn't win immunity, we got to gang together. We got to get her out. She's dangerous. Her and Heather are both dangerous. But let's go Erica first. Does that about cover it?
Heather is very dangerous.
Yeah, she's someone you got to watch out for. So we get into the immunity challenge. And
another grueling
let's just start by saying brutal. Absolutely brutal. I mean, no food in your belly. And I mean, for some of them, they haven't eaten in a couple days. But not only did they have you standing on your feet, I was literally hurting for them, watching their feet turn white.
Did you see Ricard's feet? Did you catch that?
Dude, they looked like they were going to fall off.
They looked like they were purple. Other than the one spot where his heel kind of met the crease of that little platform that they were standing on, which was piercing white. It was I'd never seen it before.
And the rest of his foot was purple.
Yeah, I'd never seen something like that before. It was wild. But before we get into the comp.
So break it down. Yeah, break it down.
Before we get into the comp, Jeff throws a huge twist their way and tells them that they're going to be splitting into 2, competing for the immunity. So 5 and 5, and there's going to be 2 immunities. So 2 people are going to be safe, 1 from each, and 2 people are going to be going home, 1 from each. The other thing that's added in is the chicken and steak stew as a reward for whichever winner. So of the 2 teams, whichever person stays on the longest, their whole team gets the reward. So the teams are broken up into, we have Evie, Danny, Deshaun, Lyanna, and Xander. And then on the other side, we have Nasir, Erica, Heather, Ricard, and Shan.
Right.
And the competition doesn't go very long, but there was one thing, you guys have seen the competition, so we don't need to really recap it. There was one thing in this competition that was like really eye-opening. I think it felt, I didn't really like it. It was kind of like tasteless, but we don't really know what goes on. Like, we don't know what causes people's feelings on this show because we don't see everything. We see an hour. That's all we see. But Lyanna, it was like the first time that we saw, not like necessarily Lyanna, like how she wanted out for Xander. We saw her like fangs a little bit. Like she was like, I just hate his face. I hate his face.
Yeah. She's a hater.
Yeah. I was just
she's
like,
a hater
I was like,
for sure.
What is, and we're not seeing it, you know what I'm saying? And so we don't know the edits.
Well, we know why it is though, right?
Yeah, but she's, I don't know.
Listen,
do you think
she got embarrassed? She got embarrassed. Xander embarrassed her on national TV at the previous tribal, and she hasn't let it go because that was, I'm telling you, Cody, in her mind, the way they were saucing her up in her DRs, she thought that was going to be the moment, because if you go back and look at it, she had this face of such excitement and joy when she asked him, and he literally embarrassed her with his response, and the life got sucked out of her, and she's a Survivor fan, and she knows that's a moment that like is going to live on in Survivor history. And there's something coming up later which we'll get to, but Xander's owning her this season so far.
I just couldn't tell because Lyanna she has had it out for him. She didn't trust him really when they were together at Yasa. So I thought maybe it was like, maybe he's arrogant around the camp. Maybe there's something, but
we're not seeing it.
But I don't see that from him. But as we all know,
not on the edited,
there's an edit that is clear that it can go either way. And so Xander has not gotten that edit. So I don't know if there's stuff that goes on at camp that really made her like, when she's sitting there and it's one thing to be rooting for Deshaun because she obviously wants to target Xander. So when she's rooting for Deshaun, I'm like, okay, teasing her alliance. She wants him safe. She wants Xander to be able to go up, whether they flush out his idol or send him home. She wants one of those 2 options. But to go like, oh, I just hate his face. Like, look at his face. Like, she was trying to get, I don't know who's sitting next to her to like feed into it too. And I was like, what are you doing, Lyanna? It's just a bad look, to be honest.
Sound off below, guys. Let us know. Sound off in the comments. What'd you think? Personal? Do we give her a pass because she's hungry and she's in the moment, and Xander just embarrassed her like 2 or 3 days prior to that? What do you think the reason is? Because it didn't seem like it was a strategic thing. It was more of a personal thing. She just personally does not like Xander.
Yeah, and so there's got to be something that we're not seeing, in my opinion. But I got to be honest with you, it was intense watching Deshaun and Xander battle. And like, you can tell that both of them, like,
well, what about the other side? Yellow first.
Yeah, but yellow. Okay, so Erica wins on the yellow side, but she fell off.
That's right. So
once she won, she was like, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm stepping down.
And she's got the immunity.
Yeah. So we have Erica win on the yellow side, and now the blue side is Deshaun and Xander facing off. Deshaun drops. I was pulling for Deshaun, but I also was like pulling for Xander in the sense of from the viewer's perspective. Like, I would love to see Xander win to see like what happens. Does it stir up something, or does it just result in exactly, what we thought was going to happen, which is ultimately what ended up happening. So that wraps that up. Xander wins it. He lasts longer than Deshaun, but both of them lasted longer than anybody on the yellow side. So I guess they were in the blue coloring. They win it. So that's Danny, Deshaun, Xander, Evie, and Lyanna. So they get the chicken and beef stew, and holy cow, look good. So that brings us now to the drama that ensues after that.
Right. And it was interesting too, because I was with you. I was rooting for Deshaun because I thought if Deshaun has safety this week, he might be willing to make a move because he's there to win. He's not there to make it fun. And when Lyanna started rooting against Xander, then naturally I was just like, oh, now I want Xander.
100%. 100%.
I was like, now I want Xander to win. But I did go into it like, let Deshaun win this because he's thinking ahead. He's thinking big, and he could do something. But when you don't have any protection, you got to protect yourself. It's all about self-preservation. So
Correct.
That was a bummer. But like you said, Xander gets the dub. They're back at camp. I'll run through. So the camps got divided because the losers, they go to the old UA camp.
Mm-hmm.
And the you want me to cover them, right? I'll cover the losers.
So that's
okay?
Naseer, Ricard, Shan, Heather, and Erica.
Right. So they're back at camp, and Heather and Erica are kind of on an island. Ricard, Naseer, and Shan are talking, and they basically together, the three of them agree Heather's got to go. Erica has immunity. Heather's got to go. That's how you weaken Erica.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mainly Shan leading the pack. But as Ricard's nodding his head, per usual, as Ricard's nodding his head, which, by the way, we should give some credit. We don't have to make it a whole thing, but there was a segment about Ricard and how he's basically completely deaf in one ear, his right ear. And I thought it was a little weird that they like muffled the sound to like kind of let us know it. That was weird.
I thought it was cool because it gave you as somebody who can hear clearly a little bit of perspective as to what does it sound like for someone like Ricard. It's like, but
that's my thing. It wouldn't sound like that. It would just sound like one headphone playing. No, which is perfectly clear
all around. He's like, he is almost fully deaf in one ear, but the other ear, it's not like, oh, this ear hears like 100%.
He said it's not I thought the other ear was 100%. He has
a very difficult time hearing, which is why he was talking about how he reads lips a lot and focuses on body language a lot because his hearing is like
I get it
really
now.
difficult. So I thought it was
lip reading. What a skill to have in Survivor, huh? Or Big Brother.
Super
lip reading.
Yeah,
that'd be killer.
Super important.
Shout out to Ricard overcoming something that could hurt you in a game like this, but you're using it as a positive to use body language and things that people may not focus on, you're focusing on. So shout out to you, Ricard, for doing that. So back to this little powwow. They have that moment. They're talking. Ricard agrees with them initially, but Ricard tells us it's stupid to go after Heather. Mm-hmm. She's got no alliance. Right. She's not someone there that's going to win a lot of challenges. She's basically on an island, literally while on an island. And so he goes over to Erica and Heather and he says, listen, I got to make Naseer feel comfortable, but we got to vote Naseer out tonight. He's got to go. He's dangerous. He's got an idol. He's good at the game. I want you to stay here, but you got to make it seem like you're going home, Heather. Heather's got no choice. So she's like, yep, I'm down with that. Let's do it. It's funny because then Naseer comes over and he's like, sorry, mama, got to send you home tonight, but I love you. I love you and I wish you were still here. And she's like, I know if it's my time, it's my time. I understand. So good acting job by her. However, but when Ricard goes back to Shan and says, Shan, listen, we got to send home Naseer. What are we talking about here? She was not happy about it. And there was a little bit of a disagreement, which Ricard and her tend to have. Yeah. I'm not taking it as severe anymore because it seems like their relationship, they can have those arguments and still move forward as a unit because we've seen it a couple times now. It's basically how they operate. So although there's a little bit of a disagreement and Ricard asks if he can use the extra vote that she has and she says no, they do agree that if they have to use the extra vote, she will use it on Naseer as long as she feels it's best for her game. So Survivor kind of leaves us with a cliffhanger as we transition to the winning tribe.
Well, I also want to give credit to Ricard for his reasoning. Like he had he nailed the points as to why the shot needed to be taken at Naseer over just sending Heather home. Like, yeah, I do it.
Ricard's a good player, dude.
He's really, really good player. That's why I wanted to give the credit. Dude. That's why I want to give the credit because he hits everything that is why you make a strategic move in the game. Mm-hmm. Heather has no advantages. Now, can Heather get advantages? Yes. Could Naseer have gotten another advantage and now have two? Totally. But his reasoning is spot on. Heather is not a threat. As much as you think Erica is a threat, Heather doesn't really accent her in a way where their game is like, whoa, this is a really serious duo.
Yeah, they're not a power duo.
They're not a power duo. And Naseer,
they're not the hitman.
You need to get...
little slide in there, just putting it out there. Okay, never mind.
Who is? All right, anyways.
You know.
Shout out to the hitman. And so I mean, Ricard just hits every point perfectly, and Shan was still so mad, and it just shows a lot as Shan is going to get herself. She's just. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. She's continuing to just battle everybody. You heard Ricard say it today, kind of similar verbiage of what Deshaun said. It's always got to be Shan's way. Shan's got to do it her way. She's got to have it her way. And I think that is definitely the conversations that people are having. And that's not what you want. You don't want people talking about you like that.
Not with this many people left.
Yeah. And so Ricard gets Shan to ultimately decide, okay, we're sending home Nasir. I will get into the tribal, but I didn't, the extra vote debacle was a waste.
Yeah, we will get into that.
But now,
there was some strategic miscues tonight. We'll just put it that way.
Big time.
By multiple people.
Big time. So that brings us over to the winning tribe, who's over there. They're filling their belly with some beef and chicken stew.
It did look good. It did look good.
It looked so good. I just didn't love what they were eating it out of, like the shells. I was like, is that how?
That's the survivor
They looked like they were
bro.
eating with their fingers. I was like, how do you? Oh, you eat and then you drink the juice? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, man. In that moment, yeah, I would just be like eating it like a dog.
Yeah, you're so hungry. What am I saying? Like, I go 4 hours, I'm eating like an idiot. I'm like, yo, shut the blinds. I don't want anybody to see me outside. So that brings us to the winning tribe, and that is where it immediately kicks off. Once after they get their belly full of food, Lyanna's already like, all right, Xander's got to, or Evie's got to go. We need to get rid of her. It's done. We can't get rid of Xander this week, so let's go after Evie. Perfect. We have the numbers 3, 2, done. And Xander has an idol, and this is crucial to this week because I felt like there was not a better time than right now to play this idol. Yeah, you could take it in the sense of you can use the idol on yourself further down the road, and yeah, that's great and all, but when it comes to a numbers swing, he is not even close to the middle. He's like really at the bottom. And so he thought, okay, we can get Deshaun, maybe we can get Danny. Maybe I'll tell Deshaun what, when Lyanna came up to me and told me, oh, it's either Deshaun or Evie, maybe I'll tell him that. Maybe I'll get him. I just don't understand what was going through Xander's head throughout these conversations when he saw Danny, Deshaun, Lyanna, and Shan get up, walk away. They were with Ricard. Then the 5 of them were talking. So you're on the outs here. Do they not have any filter as to, okay, I need to be careful what I say to Deshaun or Danny because maybe they'll go and tell Lyanna because I did see them talking. Or let me see if I could get a pulse on what's going on with them. And then maybe we could pull the numbers. And then also if I think I'm going to pull the numbers, maybe I need to question that because these people have been working together as a group of 5 in a bigger group of 8 or 7 or whatever. So should I really take anything they say as the truth? And I think Xander just missed a cue drastically today. I
mean, Danny did say to him, I think Evie's the bigger target.
Yeah.
Directly to his face. Him. It's like, Xander, what more do you need to hear?
And even just...
What'd you think of the conversation?
I mean...
Between Lyanna and Xander.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, first Lyanna goes to Xander and you could tell she was trying to pry by the water initially. She's trying to talk. She's like, so what are you thinking this week? And he's like, I don't know. What are you thinking this week? She's like, well, I'm thinking Deshaun or Evie. And he goes, I mean, if that's what you want to do, quote unquote, I'm not telling you anything. This conversation's dead. Let's get out of here. Then after that conversation, Lyanna was like, you know what? Let me take a page out of Shan's book. Let me ask him for his idol because it would make me feel so much more comfortable this week if you give me the idol because you're safe. So it doesn't really matter. So you should give me the idol. What? Girl, you ain't getting nobody's
one-liners with her. He's been murdering her at the that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it to somebody, not you.
He literally growls and there's just another meme for Lyanna. It's like, come on, Lyanna, just stay away from that boy because he's owning you right now. But it was interesting because situational awareness. It seemed like she doesn't really have a read on Xander in that he can hear and see the facial expressions you're making towards him. Some of the things you're probably saying. So although he may not have the smoking gun that you don't like him and you don't want him in the game, he's told us multiple times, I know Lyanna doesn't want me here. So clearly you're not hiding your emotions too well. No. So to think you could ask him for an immunity idol when he literally told you, I might give it to someone, not you. He's telling you I don't trust you. So you can just stop. Save yourself the energy.
Yeah. Then right before we get to tribal, Danny is talking to Xander and pretty much tells him this is where, obviously we're not seeing the whole conversation. We're only seeing the edited version, but this is where like anything in a conversation that comes up and like could give you the inkling that they may not vote with me. And in this situation, they is Danny talking to Xander, like, this person may not vote with me. You need to take that and run with it. You can't, well, they gave me a bunch of hints that said they may not vote with me, but then they said they would vote with me. And so, you know what? I think they'll vote with me. No, Xander, like, you haven't been working with Danny. You went to him in specific. Your intro to the conversation was, listen, I really wanted to work with you guys, but we haven't because you guys are at like the top. You said that to him, like, I don't know, a couple hours earlier. What are you doing? Like, why did you
And they're already in day like 16 or whatever it is.
Why
like,
did you
they're far in the game.
Why did you feel like any vote was going to go in a direction that you should have had no confidence going into the tribal council? But not to jump ahead to theirs, but that brings us into the losing tribe's tribal council.
Yeah, and I'm going to smoke through this one because there's really no drama.
No.
I think they were told maybe no whispering this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, but going into tribal, Naseer thinks he's staying. Heather plays it up like she's going. They all play it up like it was a complete joint effort. They really make Naseer feel comfortable. They vote. Naseer decides not to use his idol, which is exactly what they wanted. The vote comes down 3-3. Naseer, Heather, because Shan decided to use her extra vote. So she split the vote. I understand the rationale because she was like, hey, in case someone's lying to me, I'm going to have at least one vote on Heather. So if Naseer uses his idol, Heather goes home. But if she just would have trusted Ricard, it would have been a sweep and she could have kept that extra vote.
Yeah, but even if she didn't use the extra vote and Naseer took the idol, like, Heather would go home no matter what. I did not understand the rationale.
Well, if they all voted for Naseer and he used the idol, then they would have had to re-vote. And then I guess, technically to send home Heather.
Naseer would have voted for Heather, so it would have been a 1-0 vote, and Heather would have went, and then they would have had to...
Would he have, though? If everybody voted for him? Because he would have got to see that everyone voted for him after he used the idol.
No, because he has to use the idol before the votes are read.
That's right, but then he would have saw all the votes come out, Naseer.
Yeah.
And known that and so he would have been like, Heather, Erica, I'm voting Shan out now. Vote with me. We're voting her out.
Yeah, but
right
it wouldn't have
now.
mattered because all those votes would get washed and he would have already voted. So there would have been one vote to Heather.
Who would have voted for Heather, though? That's
Naseer.
what I'm saying. Because
Naseer would have been the one vote.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right. Yeah. So moral of the story, you're right. She shouldn't have burned the vote. It wasn't smart. And I don't know if it's going to hurt a game, but little advantages like that can be the difference maker. So they have to re-vote. But now this time, Heather and Naseer cannot vote, and it's a clean sweep. 3 votes. Naseer goes home. He was completely blindsided, kept his idol in his pocket. Now he's on the jury with Tiffany.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the, I think, the more interesting tribal of the night.
This tribal, I thought it was funny because the initial one, kind of, Jeff was asking a lot of questions. The second one, there wasn't a lot of dialogue. They dove right into the vote. There's one thing that I think, Xander, obviously, so just, we'll go forward and then we'll come back. Evie goes home. Xander doesn't use the idol. Xander not only has an idol, but Xander also has an extra vote.
Yes.
I am blown away at the I don't know the proper word, but he just missed it. He missed
probably
it
$1 million
drastically.
It's $1 million mistake.
100%. Like, you thought Danny and Deshaun, I can understand because Deshaun and Evie had a good relationship, right? You saw them earlier in the episode talking, saying, I'm never going to write your name down. Okay. So I could see why Evie maybe was talking to Deshaun and was like, okay, maybe we have Deshaun, but don't you want to be 100% sure? Like, I don't feel like they should have thought Danny was going to vote with them. I don't feel they should have thought that.
How often in Big Brother or Survivor can you basically guarantee the person you want to go home goes home? He could have used his vote. Yeah. He could have used his idol on her. Deshaun and Danny, everyone knows they're super close. They're not voting each other out. They have no other choice but to vote Lyanna out. And you said in the episode, Xander, that Lyanna's coming after you. You could have potentially guaranteed that Lyanna was going home tonight. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Not
either.
if you want to get long term. You won the game of Big Brother. I won Big Brother. There's one thing that we know. Yes, you want to play in that moment, but you have to decide right when you walk on to the show whether you're playing to get as far as you can or you're playing to win. And Survivor, Big Brother, I don't care what it is. It's a game of chess. And you want to have the best chess pieces at the end.
Right.
You basically got no one there for you. Evie's your closest thing to an ally. You have to know if you're a fan of Survivor, the only way you're going to get to the end is if you have people going with you. You need that support system that can win a competition, maybe find an idol, work together collectively, especially when it's already been established that there's a bigger alliance working together. You see Nasir on the bench. As you walk in, you have a chance to completely change the trajectory of the game. And you got selfish. You wanted to stay one more day. And so you kept it in your pocket. Maybe there's something like you said, Evie said, hey, I got this, Sean, don't worry about it. But Survivor, you've already seen like 3 blindsides. You can't take that chance. I do think he was in a tough spot to win the game to begin with. Now I think he's even in a worse spot.
Yeah, I agree.
He's buying time right now.
I agree with you. Like the same way Evie said that right when she left, and the message that she said, she was like, I was living on borrowed time. That is now transferred over to Xander. Xander is now living on borrowed time. He has a little bit more borrowed time because he has the idol. But this is the other thing that's driving me nuts. Everyone knows everything. Jeff said it today. Everyone knows about everybody's advantages. Everybody knows about everybody's idols. Like the whole tribe knows everything that's going on. And so, yeah, you may have an idol, but Nasir just showed you having an idol can mean nothing if you get too comfortable. And I say this, and I'm going to bring it back to Big Brother. The second you get too comfortable, you most likely are going to be sitting with Julie. The second you get too comfortable in any of these games, if you ever for a moment feel like you are in a good spot, and you don't always have in the back of your head, like, am I really in a good spot? What can I be doing better? Like, are these relationships authentic? Are they real? Am I going to get blindsided? If you ever sit on any of those impulses and just feel like you're comfortable for 1 week, you will find yourself going home very shortly after that. Happened in this year. He went home with an idol in his pocket because he got overconfident. He went to Heather and said, sorry, mama, you're going home, which allows Heather to now back. Like, you just put Heather into a corner. And now it allows her to start like maybe having conversations. Maybe she would have been like, maybe I don't have to go full court press because maybe it does seem like I could stay. But you let Heather know she needs to go full court press, and it backfired right in Nasir's face. He ended up going home with an idol in his pocket.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments, because as always, that's the most important thing. We're sitting here having a conversation with you. The only way we hear back is if you sound off in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode. Let us know what you thought of Xander's decision not to use his idol. Was it a good move? Are me and Cody just oblivious to how Survivors played? Or do you think he made $1 million mistake tonight? Cody, what else should our people out there right now watching, what should they be doing if they're listening or watching?
If you guys haven't done so already, we need you guys to subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications so you guys are notified the second we upload a video. We are putting out about 2 videos a week. We love doing this. We love getting on here and just talking about, Survivor, different topics that are out there, different headlines that are out there. And so in order to help us continue to grow, guys, we just need those subscriptions, and we need you to turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out when we put a video up.
That's right. Support your boys. We appreciate you joining us here on the Winner Circle. We will see you next week.